OK, time for our guest now. He is a true national treasure with a very well-known catchphrase. Oh, it's so good seeing it. Can I just say, the catchphrase, we've heard it once, we're not allowed to say it again because it's daytime telly. Just have to say that before we start.
Okay.
But welcome, and we never, ever tire of the royal family. I mean, how many times have we seen that clip and we're all laughing? Well, you were laughing.
I love it. I love it. And, the memories we have of it. And the type of person that Caroline Aherne was.
Yeah.
Apart from doing, like, now and again, a little bit of telly, I'm on the road with Asa Murphy. And it's just called An Evening With. For an hour, he asks me questions. And 90% of it is about the royal family, about Caroline, about Craig, about Ralph Little, what we're all doing. And some of the stories, the tears is bouncing down people's faces.
Well, it was a big part of all your lives.
It was. It was absolute. Honest to God, it was. It was wonderful.
I know you knew Caroline, but did you know any of the other cast? Because you obviously all became great mates, like a family.
No, I didn't.
You knew Sue. Did you knew Sue Johnson?
Oh yeah. But I didn't know that Sue was going to be in it.
No.
Right.
How I got in the show? I'm at a fancy dress at a big posh do with my wife Rita. Now Rita's a Bootle girl. Now, you can always tell a girl from Bootle, but you can't tell her much. And she said to me, Rick, will you go and get me a black tie job? Will you go and get me a little bit of puffy? And as I'm walking along, I bumped into a young girl and I knocked her flying. I wasn't paying attention. I really knocked her flying. And when she turned around, it was Caroline Aherne. And she went, oh. She said, you're my dad, aren't you? And I went back to Rita and said, just bumped into a young girl there. She's got mental health problems. And that was how I met her. And, she knew then.
So she at that point had gone, I want him as my dad.
It was the perfect show, though, wasn't it? Because it would have you crying with laughter so much of the time. But then, and obviously I referenced one of the most famous scenes of you and Caroline in the bathroom at the Christmas. You were racking sobs and you never knew how which way each episode was going to take you.
But that scene in when the baby's born on Christmas Day, they were all real tears.
Yeah.
Now, it's some of your audience here may be old enough to remember Coronation Street when Sam and Stan and Hilda Ogden were the main characters in Corrie. Well, the cameraman was Stan Ogden's son.
Was it?
Oh, really?
And we're doing the business, and I'm crying because my own daughter, who's a grandmother herself, now was born on Christmas Day.
Oh.
I didn't have a carrot at the time. I was living in a ramshackle little cottage. We had 2 boys, so I'm looking after the boys Christmas Day. Marlene goes into hospital to have Katie. I can't cook, so the 2 lads, the lads had turkey and ice cream for the dinner. So I'm thinking this, and the tears are flooding. Caroline's crying because I think she desperately wanted children.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether she could or whether she couldn't, but she idolised them. So everyone's crying. The cameraman was crying. Wow. And it was the cameraman, not the director, who shouted, cut.
Yeah. Well, listen, wonderful, wonderful memories for us as well as you, for all of you. Let's talk about what you're doing now. Yeah. Irish Annies.
Yeah.
So this is a musical. Is it a comedy musical?
Yeah, there's a lot of comedy in it. It's about a typical Irish pub. We have a live band on stage.
Written by Asa, who you referenced before.
Written by Asa over there, who's probably the best swing singer, and I'm including Bublé and all them. You'd have to, people swoon when I'm serious. When they hear him singing, he's fabulous. And it's just about the pub, and I come in and I'm Jack the Lad. And I start talking to the audience as though they're the customers in the pub. And I tell them stories, And if anyone's there I can pick on, I have a little go. But they love it. And as I say, the finale, and I love doing matinees of an afternoon, because we get more pensioners in, because they're not afraid of going home at, say, 5 o'clock in the light and rather than late.
We're like that.
Yeah, I love a matinee. I love a matinee.
We're like that.
Years since I've had a matinee. No, and you see them dancing. It's like Glastonbury for pensioners. It's wonderful, honestly.
Well, it says the crack is mighty, as they would say. And we said we've got Asa, we're very lucky to have him with us today, Asa Murphy. Singer, songwriter, playwright. You wrote Irish Annies. Did you write it with Ricky in mind, like Caroline did for Royal Family?
Well, I've known Ricky 25 years. He had a great club in Liverpool called the Green Room, so I used to perform there doing big band swing music. And I wrote Irish Annies during the lockdown. And one of the characters is an Irish storyteller, because my family's Irish, they're from Cork. And, yeah, the first one sprung to mind was Ricky coming into the pub and regaling the audience, who are... It's as if everybody's in Irish Annie's pub, with stories about his life, etc. So I rang him up and said, I've written this thing. Not sure what he'd say, but he's, as you know, he's a cracking fella, and he said, I'd love to do it. And it went from strength to strength. We did one show, didn't we, Rick? We started with one show in Liverpool, and now we're doing 42 dates this year.
Yeah, amazing.
And Ricky, obviously, it's, you know, it's Oscars Day. It's our tribute to the Oscars. Who would you say in the whole of your career, and it's been a really long and wonderful career, was your favourite ever leading lady?
Can't remember her name.
We did 3 series of a show called Down to Earth. And Ricky and I were husband and wife. We spent 3 years pretty much in Cornwall together. And I have never laughed and gone through so many panty pads in my entire life, I can tell you.
And we were talking...
I've been so lucky. I've worked with tremendous people. And I know nothing about show business. I mean, I come into... As you know, I was a political prisoner and didn't start in the game till in my late 40s. And here's how little I knew about the game. I was in the Groucho Club at the invitation from Roland Joffe, who I'd just done a movie for, which the movie was amazing. We got rave reviews. And there's a chap there, smaller than me, and I'm only 5'8". And I said to him, are you in show business? It was Robert De Niro.
Oh, I like him. What did you think?
Robert De Niro.
I don't know if you were listening backstage. We were talking, well, Denise particularly was saying about Demi Moore losing out for Best Actress and saying, you know, are women still getting written off, do you think, when they hit 50? Do you believe
No,
that...
I don't think so, no. It all depends what the part calls for.
It does.
You
Well,
know.
Sue Johnston's a cracking example,
She never
isn't
stops.
she? She never, ever stops.
She
She's
doesn't
wonderful.
stop.
And final question,
I go to
then.
Anfield.
Would your wife catch you chewing gum if you spat it out?
It would come right back to me, I'm afraid. In one of her shoes. I can't understand why he's done that. He hasn't thought. He hasn't thought.
I love that, shucking it back at you. But listen, thank you very much, Asa Murphy, for joining us as well. Ricky Tomlinson. Irish Annies is now going out on another tour starting next month, all over the country and Ireland as well.
Yeah.
Are we invited?
You certainly are.
you.
Theatre near you.
Yeah, we are.
Ricky Tomlinson,
Absolutely.
everyone. Thank you very much.